We are still in Abbeywood. This place is a very green area, which is why it looks like this. So we missed our last month's episode simply because it was incredibly negative. I had like nothing good to say. I also was rushing to shoot because I was planning for a trip to Italy, which, by the way, let's start with the personal stuff. Trip to Italy was legitimately life-changing. I went with my boys. I've known them since secondary school. That was Kevin, Niku, Alex, Dylan, SA. I even brought TJ with me. TJ, somebody I met in uni, Luke, and that was about it, I think, and Gary. Yeah, and it was a good time. We went to Milan. Milan was the main place we stayed. It's really crazy because we flew into the main Milan airport, but we stayed in a hotel which is directly next to the other airport, so it's like we could have just flown to the other airport. But the time I spent in Milan was insane. Like legitimately insane. The food was good, pizza, pasta, like that. We were actually at a karaoke bar on one of the days. We were just doing karaoke because effort. I think they were drunk and I was just in the mood. I don't really drink. Word of advice, don't say grazie to Italians. They might lynch you. They might become aggravated as a result. It's grazie. I learned the hard way. I was on the microphone, belting my heart out, singing. They should have put Bella Ciao on. They didn't. I think it was Hit Me Baby One More Time by Britney Spears. They put that on, and I was belting my heart out, and after it was on, I was like, grazie. Record stopped. Boss man, who was in charge of the whole thing, was like, listen, just grabbed me that shot. He's like, listen, yeah, like, you do that shit again, yeah. I've never felt so in my life. But again, it was a cool experience. Italy was amazing. The people in Milan, right, they are babes. I don't really see a lot of black women out there. That's like my spec. But like even the white one, even the pale princesses, they were a little nice, I won't lie to you. People have face cards out there. I think it's because it's very close to like that Mediterranean area, like that Greek, Moroccan. Everybody has like really tan skin because there's a lot of sun. And really like dark like features, like dark hair and sort of dark. A lot of them out there just looked really, really good. And they were all dressed really, really well. The second to last day, we went out to a nightclub. And everybody was like dressed really well. We were trying to get into the main one, but it wasn't patching, so we went to another one and it was okay, but yeah, it was a very interesting experience and I enjoyed my time out there, and I wouldn't trade anything for the world to spend more time with the friends and the people that I love. So that's that. We also went to Lake Como, and Lake Como was really good. It was like it was a one-day trip. Fun fact, before Lake Como, I was in Milan trying to pick up some stuff from the market. I didn't spend a lot of time with the group, with my friends. When I go to countries, I like to experience stuff for myself. I was in the market trying to pick up some pieces, maybe some souvenirs for my family when I came back. And I was on my way to the train station to take the, I think it was an 11:15 or 12:15 train to Lake Como, so we could arrive there for 12 or 1 or something like that. On my way there, on the Lime bike, the brakes on that Lime bike stopped working. Lime, if I catch you. Lime, if I catch you. The brakes stopped working on that Lime bike. I crashed into someone's Maserati, in the back of someone's Maserati as they're driving. I don't understand if this was a Fiat 500. They all drive Fiats out there in Italy. I don't understand if it was like a Volkswagen or a Volvo or something ridiculous, like a student car, like a regular car. But a Maserati? Oh no. They get out their vehicle, obviously, because I've crashed into, and I've never been so scared in my entire life. There was fear in my eyes. When you don't speak Italian and this person doesn't speak English, and they're viscerally angry at you. It was genuinely a fearful experience. After like 5-10 minutes of like, oh, what you doing? Like, okay, let me not do that. I've already upset the Dutch people. Let me not piss off Italians as well. But after like 5-10 minutes of this guy like vehemently screaming at me, like, what's going on? Like, show me your papers. And saying as much as he could in English while yelling what I could only assume were maybe slurs in Italian. He was like, okay, cool. There's not really any damage here. He was like, listen, you better lock in, bro. Don't let me catch you scribbling around in that line back again with that poor handling. Honestly, I have to be so thankful that he let me off the hook, because I genuinely thought like police were gonna get involved and I might like get bagged and I wouldn't have been allowed to come back home because it was so embarrassing. But it was a good experience out there. I did not make the train, the original train that everybody else was on to get to Lake Como, but I managed to get my own train. And then once we got to Lake Como, it was amazing, it was beautiful. We did the boats. My God. I got to drive the boat. That was fun. The ice cream, the gelato was... Italy was an amazing experience, and like I said, traveling is going to be my main thing this year. Fun fact, outside of traveling, I've been doing a lot of running. I actually look quite toned on the camera. I'm not sure if it's the sun or I feel like it might be the angles of the sun and maybe my skin, I'm not sure. But I've been doing a lot of running. I want to show you like my running shoes. I'm wearing like running gear. I've been doing a lot of running. I mean, taking my health seriously. Again, it was one of those things where it's like I woke up one day and I was like, I'm gonna be 24 soon. My birthday is actually in 2 weeks, I believe. I'm gonna be 24 soon. Why am I slouching? Like my back posture was so brazy. I used to walk around like this. I still kind of do. But I was like, nah, I need to fix my life. You know what I'm saying? I need to, and I was talking about this in December, like, I'm not proud of my teeth. They need work. I'm not proud of my general health. That needs work. And so I just started running one time. After going to Bury St. Edmunds with my friends all the way back at the end of January / start February, because we had to do a run there, I've just had that runner's itch inside of me. And for like past 2 months, I've been doing a 5K run basically every Tuesday and every Saturday. And as somebody who's fairly skinny, it's not amazing because I actually don't eat a lot to cover up the calories that I lose. But one thing that the running thing has done for me has really reintroduced self-discipline back into my life. I used to just wake up randomly at like 1 p.m. in the day. Like I didn't have anything I was doing with myself. Even when I had stuff to be editing for clients, like I didn't have a structure in my day. Running has really reintroduced a structure back into my life. So I'm so thankful. And I've enjoyed the running, and you know, I'm pushing towards the 10K. They just finished the London Marathon. I think it was yesterday. Honestly, I'm giving myself a challenge. I should be half marathon ready at least by next year, but honestly, I feel like I can do the marathon. A year's training, I can do the marathon. I'm young, I'm sprightly, I've got it inside of me. I've got a fresh trim, like a fresh trim. So yeah, I can make it. I can do a marathon, and I will be doing a marathon. You guys are holding me accountable. I'm doing a marathon next year. The London Marathon at least. Probably not, probably the half marathon, but we're working towards it. So yeah, I've been doing running and just trying to get my fitness in check. In the space of you guys seeing me, I think it was February that I released the last episode. I've been quite busy actually. I've been very, very busy. Outside of personal stuff, because we just talked about the trip to Milan. I still don't have the driver's license. I just couldn't afford it. It's very simple, it's a money thing, and I've put way too much money in towards it. I can't keep doing driving stuff right now. What else? Personally, it's been a rough and rocky road. There's been a couple of things that's happened. We've had a number of deaths in my parents' church, so I don't want to get into my own personals, but I've been feeling for a very long time now like something really, really pivotal in my life is about to happen. I don't want to speak ill of myself and my family, but with the amount of deaths that's been around me, and just knowing that my parents are getting older, you know, I'm sort of holding on and clinging on for dear life to this thing. And that's why I wasn't able to release an episode in March, is because I started to feel my own mortality a little bit too much. I was just thinking about, I'm so privileged to be able to functionally be unemployed and try out this filmmaking stuff and do all this going around and shooting, and I'm meeting different people instead of trying to build a stable career, because truth be told, God forbid if one of my parents were to pass away today, either of them, my mother or my father, I don't know that I'd be able to step up and look after my siblings. Like I couldn't even look after myself, even mentally and emotionally. I just don't know if I have the capacity to deal with that sort of stuff. So when I was in March, I was like, I don't think I can even make an episode, because all the stuff that I had to say was just so negative. It was just so poor and negative. But when I say I have a faithful God and I have an amazing God, and God finds amazing ways to keep reminding me that it ain't over, boy. It ain't over. So you guys remember in February when I was talking about the film that I was going to be shooting, that I was becoming the DOP on? That has been going really amazingly. At first it was a bit of a struggle. Me and the director, I think it was because it was early days and we hadn't really met in person yet. And me and the director, I don't know how to explain it, but we didn't click as well. There wasn't a parity in vision in terms of what we wanted the film to look like. That aside, we came in for shoot day one, that was outside. I'll show you actually some of the clips that we got, because so I'm not actually editing the film itself. The AD, the assistant director, his name's Sen, he's gonna be doing the editing, or I think they may find someone else doing the editing. To be fair, I might offer out to do the editing because I'm actually editing my own cut of the film. It's my cinematography and I want to be able to look after the image from start to finish. But on shoot day one, it was very interesting because there was a lot of ideas being thrown around and we didn't have too much of a rigid structure. But as the shoot days have been coming, we've just started to gel and blend, and everyone in the team has just started to work with each other really well. It's been fun. It's been a fun experience on set. I've enjoyed every single That was so interesting. I could technically use my phone to snap it, but I'm using my phone to monitor again. But every single experience that I had on set was amazing, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. I enjoyed shooting outside when we were by the lake over in Kingston or Kingston upon Thames, Richmond, that area. I think it was actually Merton. It was an amazing experience. The sun's being good. The sun's coming out. You can see it now. I look radiant. I look glowing. I've got that trim. Life is good, and the filmmaking is legitimately showing that. I'm so proud of myself for how far I've come. Again, I talk about all my failures on here. I'm very open about the failures and the stuff that I've, like my financial irresponsibility, borderline narcissistic personality traits that's ruined my dating experience. Well, not borderline, definitely narcissistic traits. The fact that I failed my driving test. I have so many failures to discuss. I could ramble on about my failures, but for all those failures and for all those things that make life such a difficult experience, as a little kid. Okay, cool. I have come so far. The shooting isn't done. We just finished shoot day 3. That was the second part of doing the house shots. I've loved being able to, from start to finish, almost control essentially a project of mine. I've never been able to do that before. I know I've talked about Audrey and Aura and some people sort of offering jobs and stuff out here, but it's never really landed or stuck. That's the film industry. It's a lot of promises. A lot of people will be like, yeah, let's do this, let's do that. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but fortunately, God has found favor upon me even when I don't necessarily deserve it. And I have a film that I have directed the photography of. That's pretty cool, man. Actually, last week, Thursday, I was supposed to be going to a job fair. Thought it's time for me to put the fries in the bag finally. But again, this guy, Samuel Eni, I've been doing some shoots for him here and there, just small little social media gigs, and he's been actually a really big blessing in my life. A friend of his, somebody who I'm aware of, I think his name's Ola, he's a big film producer. Oh wow. I don't have hay fever, but I think air just got into my lung. Oh my God. What was I saying? Yes. A friend of his, Ola, who I was actually aware of already because I met from the rap party of Dating Black that I did all the way back in September. He needed a DOP to come and shoot an interview session for Penguin Books. Like 7 or 8 months ago, I was like, oh my God, I'm shooting little TikToks. Now I'm shooting for registered brands and companies and organizations that are borderline global. It's funny because I was actually on a date. I don't want to get into the discussion of like me and dating because it's just a over thing. I've sort of managed to re-download Hinge and like get back on the dating scene, but whatever. I was actually on a date with someone on the Tuesday, I think, or the Monday or the Sunday, one of those days. And we just randomly took an impromptu land bike trip. And we ended up at the US Embassy. That was my first time at the US Embassy. Fun fact, the day I showed up for the shoot, Penguin's offices in London were right outside the US Embassy. I was like, wow, it's gotta work. He's doing something. The little strings of the universe that just intertwine all of us, they're amazing to discuss because when I got to the shoot, the person that I was shooting for was a guy named, but it was a poet that I actually studied in secondary school for my GCSEs. And I was like, what? The way God's hand works on us, it's an amazingly beautiful thing. So I was just like, wow, such an amazing. So that was an amazing experience. I wrapped that up on Friday. Annoyingly, I didn't get to shoot the kind of style that I want. This was the sort of scene that I wanted to shoot because we were going with like a really yellow, warm feel. But apparently they didn't have the budget or something. That's what the Penguin's assistant producer was telling me. She was like, yeah, this isn't really what we're going for. We want like a straight, clean, look. So I had to rework the lights, rejig the lights. I don't really have any BTS of it, but I do have the shots itself. I might get in trouble for showing you guys, I might not, but here's what it looks like. Outside of that, I've been doing a couple more gigs. I shot a couple of weeks ago for this guy named Tosin. It was like a tech summit thing that they invited a bunch of coders and stuff like that into. You guys already know that. The event stuff is like my bread and butter. That's the thing that's supposed to be able to supplement me while I pursue the filming career. Yeah, I feel like I was so ready to give up on everything. God was like, nah, I'm not done with you yet. Like, I just felt like everything in my life was falling apart. I still, in some ways, have that little niggly thing in the back of my neck that's like, what if? We talk about the coming to terms with my own mortality of like, life around me, at any given moment, my parents could pass away, I don't have that much money, it's very difficult to like balance, I have really poor emotional valence and stuff. But even in all of that, God is like, here's a job, here's this person. That's one of the things that, has really plagued me is that I haven't seen a lot of opportunities as opportunities in this filmmaking thing. This is advice. Again, this is supposed supposed to be an advice thing, but every interaction with somebody in this filmmaking experience is an opportunity. Don't think of it as like, oh, until I'm on set, I have a camera in my hand. Conversations are easiest and quickest ways to get yourself in the rooms with people that you want to be in, to do the things that you want to do. And I struggled with that. I still struggle with that. I'm not a good conversationalist, especially when I'm marketing about myself. I don't like to talk about my work a lot. I don't like to publicize my work a lot. Even the sort of stuff I don't publicize to people on my platforms. I used to believe it was like, you know, I'm reserved, I'm humble, I'm shy, but part of it is just, is a weird level of ego and narcissism. You think you're so great that you're gonna be like that undiscovered niche. Tell people about your work, bro. And again, closed mouths don't get fed. This industry, this entire industry, like I said back in November or December, whenever, it's very cliquey. It's the people you know. And the quickest way to get to know people is to talk to them. And be open and ready to do what you need to do to get into certain rooms. Like I applied to be a DOP for a short series called A Letter to Black Men. They didn't take me in as a DOP, but they were like, we love your work, and quite frankly, we still want to have you on set. So they're like, could we have you as a BTS videographer? That's some of the next work that I might have. I was applying for just creative jobs in general, and there's this app called Job Today or Jobs Today, and I applied for this random gig. This guy called Sazzy, he was like, I just need a videographer to like document my life and do like stories. Like, have you seen like those DGD streams? It's like that, but he wants it to be a bit more vloggimentary, like a bit more cinematic, like the style of stuff that I do. I've had a couple of calls, a couple of conversations with him about the style of stuff that we can do, like the episodes, the people we should be speaking to, the stuff like that. That's the next body of work I've got. We talked about the black tennis stuff that I was doing a while ago that I shot all the way back in October. Aram, I'm actually editing his vlog right now as we speak. Honestly, Aram is one of the best people I've had as a client, you know, because he's very patient, he's very understanding, and he's he's just like chill, right? He's very, very chill. So one of Aram's friends that I met all the way back in Black History Month in October, he finally reached out to me and was like, listen, man, I love the work, and I love the vision, I love everything that you do. And it's been a couple of conversations. Now I'm working towards that as well. Similarly, I shot like a little doc thing, a little interview style with a girl named Natalie Coco Ferrari. I actually don't know how to say her full name. Her name's like Natalie, and then there's a Ferrari bit somewhere. I don't know. A random little thing just because I was interested in just like building up my portfolio and just like shooting people. And I actually shot again on this camera. I'll insert you the shots so you know what it looks like. I shot that all the way back when I had a job actually. Come to find out, you know, she's been working with this artist. She's showed him my work and he's like, listen, I just love the style. I love the thing that you do. I don't even care how much money it's gonna cost me. I just wanna work with you and I just wanna get some magic done. If I was actually doing something somewhere else, I was actually at choir practice for an event and he just randomly sends me money. He's like, listen, I felt it in my spirit to just give you money because it's like, I know that we're gonna work and I know that we're gonna make something. I was like, that's crazy. This is the point that I'm making, is that like conversations I had 6, 7 something months ago are now coming to fruition for me now. Every opportunity of conversation is an opportunity for work further down the line. You may not know that. You may not know that. Even the stuff I'm doing today, people have looked at some of these vlogs and been like, man, like the way you shoot your stuff is so cool and I love the way you enunciate yourself. There is a funeral this week, unfortunately, that I do have to do, but I've got some shoot days. I've got a meeting with Sazzy. Ooh, the sun's getting really low. I've got a meeting with Aram's friend. A lot is happening in my life, and that's because I didn't give up on myself. I was this close, and God didn't give up on me. I was so ready to be like, let me put the fries. Even now, I'm still like, let me put the fries in the bag. Again, I'm taking a step back and I'm looking at all these things, and it's like, so many people in my close circles are championing me towards greatness. I cannot give up right now. I cannot give up at all. I have a film to my name. It's going to be on IMDb, and it looks really good because I do what I do. I'm so grateful for how far I've come. Like, and even with all the small stuff that I'm doing, I went to a film meet and greet, and I got to interact with a bunch of different filmmakers. I met some cool people, like a guy, I think his name's, I forgot his name, but he lives in Abbeywood. Another girl, her name's Hakima. She lives in Abbeywood. It's crazy that I just ran into 2 people randomly who just live around the corner. Like, she literally lives probably somewhere here where I'm talking right now. On the way, I met this amazing woman. I forgot her name as well, but she was an amazing photographer. She was shooting like an entire series about the light pollution in London. Crazy. To get back onto the style of advice, because that's what we're here for. For young filmmakers or aspiring people looking to get into that creative scene, your mouth is your greatest gift. Pressing record on the camera does not make you a filmmaker. You know, being able to slap a really cool LUT and color grade some footage doesn't make you a filmmaker. What makes you a really good filmmaker, what separates a good from a great filmmaker, is somebody who can convey ideas vocally. And so that's what we're working on today. work towards being able to communicate better. Only by communication that you really get this far in life. If you do want to do this journey, you have to be willing to just have conversations, talk to people, network, that's that. And I'm looking forward to more people and newer people I can connect with. I'm looking forward to connecting more with the people I already have in my life. Honestly, I'm looking forward to a happy birthday for me next week. Not next week, the week after, or the week after that. I don't know. It's sometime. I actually don't pay attention to my birthday as much. I'm looking forward to a birthday. I might go hiking. Forward to that. I'm looking forward to doing the shoot with Ali and Sazi and Aram's friend and editing Aram's vlog. And I've got a lot on my hands, man. Even now, I'm gonna go and finish off editing the vlogs and stuff. So I'm just so happy. I'm finally starting to see there's a little bit of a pathway opening up for me, and I think I'm ready to take that risk. I feel like if there's anything I left out, then I'll probably get back to it in another episode. But for now, guys, thank you so much for listening to me ramble. It's been an amazing experience. And I hope to see you in June for what will be part 7 or 8 or 9.